I don't know. Maybe this is a weird way of saying busted stuff can still look kinda pretty.
The wacky world of MultimediaJay.
Not totally reaching for the low-hanging fruit here, but this is the first time we've had a busted LED bulb, so I want to answer my various questions that I have about these things when they break. Also worth noting, though, my first real experiment with solid-state lighting was circa November 2014. So, the dud of the bunch, in terms of the LED bulbs that I've bought over the years, got just shy of 5 years before I noticed that most of it was burnt out. So let's see what exactly goes on with these things when they're on their way out. They obviously don't burn out like incandescents did. We are talking about arrays of various LEDs here. But I want to see what exactly is going on with this bulb before I toss it or try to fix it, if that's even possible. First, as a rehash for those that haven't been following, which why wouldn't you? Once the camera adjusts here, you can see a crescent moon, because only this small bit over here in this corner is still working. Everything else, no good. Well, the first question should be a rather simple one. What do we get on the kilowatt when this thing is burnt out as it is? What's the wattage down to? Turn this on, and 10.5 watts. That's not good. Let's compare that to one that 100% works. There we go, much brighter. And the wattage is, this thing was totally not made for doing this kind of thing, 12.3 watts. Not good. So we lose most of the light, but we still retain most of the wattage. Okay, for the first time ever, I want to break a light bulb on purpose. Time to see what's inside one of these things. Well, nuts. We may have to squish it with something. I don't want to finish breaking it via impact and stuff. Not exactly like cracking an egg. Then again, this is supposed to be shatter resistant. We'll probably have to crush it with something. Or better yet... Plan B? Oh, you can't even say... Here we go. Let's get the action on camera. Is this going the wrong way? Well, I scratched it a little.
Epic fail.
How about a smaller bit? Ah, making some progress. We're through. That is some pretty thick material. Can we break it now? Well, we put a hole in it. Well... Alright, how many holes do we have to put in this thing? Okay, so we keep drilling through this material, and we keep putting holes in it, but we're nowhere near closer to... And we finished breaking it. Woo!
Epic fail.
Light bulb versus rubber mallet. Nope. This is some really good material. Well, I wonder if we could do that thing where you start out with a small hole and then you just drill bigger and bigger holes until it comes apart. Okay, big bit. Center it in one of the small holes it drilled through. Wow! We're hitting the torque limit on the drill. I'll take it out of screwdriver mode. Let's take it out of screwdriver mode. Well, now it's spinning loose. That's not good. Nope, that totally didn't work.
Epic fail.
The bit wasn't in all the way. Let's do it slowly until it gets... Nope. Put it back to screwdriver mode. Somebody doesn't know how to use a power drill. Okay, I must be going the wrong way. Nope. Technical difficulties. Look at all the mess we're making.
Epic fail.
The bit is now properly secured. Let's continue. Nope, turn the torque back up. Turn the torque up all the way. Don't want to drill through to the desk or anything. Nope. We're through! Let's take a look inside this thing, and ultimately what's Get the camera in there! We can actually see that it is beyond repair. The bit that broke off. So there's the LED. So there's the LED in there. So there's the LED array in there. So it does have a cute little circuit board in there. Let's just get the camera right in there. There's a cute little circuit board in there with some solder joints that we could check. And there's bits and pieces of stuff that broke off. And I don't know if there's bits and pieces of stuff that broke off. I want to get the rest of this shell off of there, which you can probably use with something that cuts now in order to cut this off and get at that circuit board. But there's what runs LED lights. It's a bunch of diodes, of course, on a circuit board that's receiving power, probably through some kind of circuit that takes the 120 volts AC and converts it over. There's probably a power supply in there. Just wondering if this will work if we can get the rest of the globe off. So I managed to whittle away the rest of this outer casing with a set of cutting pliers, and here it is. As I thought, there's a circuit board, and it obviously runs off of AC and it converts it over somewhere in here. There's a power supply in here, and that's why it gets as hot as it does when it runs. But we have a bunch of little LEDs there. One of them got dinged, of course. D3 is kind of dinged. But we got a bunch of little LEDs there. And here's the material from the case. Definitely not an eggshell, that's for sure. This is closer to plastic than it is to glass. Definitely closer to plastic than glass. So if you drop one of these trying to put it in, then you're probably going to have more problems with this thing not working because you broke the circuit than broke the bulb. Let's apply power to this and see how much of this is totally out. Nuts. Somewhere along the line this thing finished breaking and now it doesn't work at all. I managed to see it running without the globe once and saw that most of these LEDs didn't light up. But somewhere between then and now this thing finished breaking. So let's finish taking it apart just for the heck of it before we retire it. But this is what I mean by solid-state lighting. It's solid-state electronics. This is very clearly a circuit board with two wires coming from what's probably a power supply buried in there, and that's why most of the heat in LED bulbs comes out the sides of the bottom of the bulb. So this is actually a light bulb shaped, as I figured. LED bulbs are basically solid-state electronic lighting devices that are merely shaped by light bulbs that do all the work with the AC here, and then they run a circuit board up here, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's better than, glass bulb and a filament that uses horrendous amounts of wattage and stuff like that to give off tungsten yellow light that doesn't even do what house lighting was supposed to do in the first place, which is basically allow us to have more daylight by basically emulating the sun on a much smaller scale. Which is why I'm a big fan of daylight bulbs in the first place, because they finally do what lighting was supposed to do to begin with. We just couldn't do this kind of stuff with a filament, and we just couldn't by making filaments glow inside vacuum bulbs. Actually, no, not vacuum bulbs, vacuum tubes, because that's what incandescent bulbs basically were. The vacuum tubes of house lighting. And this is the solid-state descendant. Got this thing even further apart now. Check it out. Surface-mounted components. This is no ordinary circuit board. GE was pretty serious about this. GE was pretty serious about this kind of stuff. Here's what's left of the bulb, and of course it goes up to here. The circuit board sits on here, and what goes in here, of course, is this sealed power unit. Now, I don't know if I want to go any further, because now we could be talking capacitors and stuff that work with AC, so I'm not so sure I want something discharging and zapping me across the room. Yep, thought so. Speaking of capacitors, peekaboo! This is where we're going to stop. There are folks who actually have teardown videos of various LED bulbs out there, so you can see the various ways in which these things are put together. But there is one notable issue with me having done all this for science, or something like that. I just found out in retrospect, hindsight being 2020 and me feeling like a moron, that GE had a 10-year warranty on these bulbs, as opposed to the Walmart stuff that I'm experimenting with only having a 3-year warranty. So, I could have sent this in under warranty for repair replacement. But the thing is, though, it's older, it runs hotter than its successors do, and it's not as efficient, and quite frankly, it had a good run. I might try sending the next one that does this in to see what happens there. But in terms of seeing how these things go together, this is pretty solid, but I don't want to, I know there's a circuit board that's jammed in there. I don't want to go messing around any further, because I don't want something to discharge when I was just running this thing less than an hour ago. So this is where we're going to stop. There are videos actually out there of people doing various teardowns on LED bulbs, and some of them actually do have circuit boards just hanging loose inside the back of underneath where the array is. So it's pretty cool to know how one of these things works, although I will definitely invoke the warranty on the next GE bulb and maybe consider switching back later on. This Walmart experiment is just an experiment in longevity anyways. There is one thing though with regards to LED bulbs that we have to talk about here, and that is the simple fact that, yes, you can get a 10-year warranty. That's still hot. You can get a 10-year warranty on a GE bulb versus 3-year warranty on their great value counterparts. But the thing is, plastic, when it gets older, it starts to yellow. That can cause problems. And the technology can always get better. I mean, people could have started out with regular LED bulbs, and now they're upgrading to smart bulbs and stuff to control their house lights with, Wi-Fi and stuff. So I imagine the march of technology will eventually make invoking the warranty on these old bulbs not worth it. But we're going to try the Walmart stuff for now, because Walmart's very aggressive with trying to get this technology adopted. So they've got some really good prices, especially when you stack it up with Energize Connecticut discounts and stuff like that, because Connecticut's trying to encourage people to be more energy efficient. So you stack all that together, and LED lighting is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to get into, not that expensive at all, considering the dud of the bunch lasted nearly 5 years. None of the other LEDs that I have shown any signs of wear or deterioration, including the GE bulbs that I was using first before I started trying to use great value stuff. I may go back to GE for the warranty if that proves to be more worth it in the long run, but we're talking years until I have an answer on something like that. So, much ado about light bulbs, but they're not really light bulbs. They're solid-state electronics in the shape of a light bulb. But what Captain Stutterbug. But whatever, man. That is absolutely a technology that I'm curious about doing more with. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.